Welcome to Ian's studio. I'm Ian Butterfield, and in this video I'm going to explain what sync speed is and why it's important, and I'm going to do all that with the help of my friend Shirley here. What is sync speed? It's a phrase you might have heard quite a lot in connection with flash photography, strobist or studio work. Well, in order to explain that, I think I need to explain about how the camera works when it's taking a photograph. You have a sensor or film in the old days, and that sensor is covered up by two curtains. One is covering the sensor, the other is directly below it. When you take a photograph, and I'm going to do this with the help of some helpful graphics, initially the whole picture is black. Then you press the shutter release and the first curtain moves up. At the end of the time that the shutter needs to be open, the second curtain moves up and hides the image. Let's just get rid of that. When we come to very fast shutter speeds, say 1,000th of a second, there isn't enough time for one curtain to go up and followed by the other in the space of say 1,000th of a second or even a 4,000th of a second. So how the camera deals with it is it cheats. And what happens is, let's pull the black in again. What happens is you open the shutter, the first curtain starts to move up, the second curtain follows it, and this just reveals this little strip of light which is the equivalent to an exposure of 1,000th of a second or 4,000th of a second or whatever speed you've chosen. Okay, let's get rid of that black. Now at some point your camera's going to switch over from having the entire sensor revealed to having just a section of it revealed. The speed at which it moves from one to the other is your sync speed. Now on most cameras that will be a 200th of a second. Some cameras are 250th of a second. Canon have recently crippled the 6D camera down to 160th of a second. So why is this fact important? Well, when you're doing flash photography or when you're working in the studio, if you've only got a slit of the sensor visible at any one time, when the lights go off, you will only illuminate part of the scene. More often than not, what you actually see is just the second curtain covering part of the image. Let me demonstrate this with the help of my model Shirley. A speed light with an umbrella, and of course my camera. So I'm going to take a few shots of Shirley at different shutter speeds. The first one I'm going to take is at the normal shutter speed I would use in the studio or when working with flash guns and strobes. That's 125th of a second. And as you can see from that shot, Shirley is correctly exposed. We've got full lighting on her. Now if I change my shutter speed, keep the aperture exactly the same because that's what our exposure is based on, I'm just going to change that shutter speed up to 200th of a second, which is the sync speed for the Canon 5D Mark III. And you can see in that shot what's happening is we're just beginning to see the edge of the curtain appear in the image. The reason why that happens at the sync speed is because there is a finite time for the signal to come from the camera to the speed light, for the speed light to say, oh, I've just received the signal for the flash to go off. So we can just see the second curtain appear on the image. Some cameras will get away with it, sometimes even on mine I will get away with it. But more often than not, I will just see that curtain on there. So when you're choosing a speed to shoot at, shoot below the sync speed. What happens if we go above it? So If I select 250th of a second and take that shot again, now you can see a big black mark coming down the side of the image where the second curtain is appearing. Move it up a little bit higher, 400th of a second. And we have only half of Shirley on the image. So, your sync speed, to summarise, is the speed at which the entire sensor is visible to the light. It's important because when we're using flash in the studio or strobes, the entire sensor needs to be visible when the light goes off. So choose a speed of about 125th of a second and you can't go too far wrong. Thanks for watching this video from Ian's studio. Stay tuned for more videos in the future. Thanks very much. Bye bye.
This has been an in-studio video presentation by Ian M. Butterfield. All content and photographs are copyright Ian M. Butterfield and may not be reproduced without prior permission. For more information, including how to subscribe to this and other videos, please visit www.ians-studio.co.uk/videos. Thank you.